Okay, so now that we've looked at the DOM, now we can look at how we can go about selecting each of these tags here and each of these elements that exist, and how we can go about, for example, styling them, adding new text, adding and removing new tags, and so forth and so on. So here I have my div tag, and within my div tag, I call the container, by the way, in the ID attribute. I have all these paragraphs here, right? And each paragraph has its ID, and they all belong to the same class of paragraph. So in the first place, I will teach you how we can go about selecting each paragraph based on its ID. So the way to do this is, let's just say let paragraph 1 equals to document. Remember, the document is like the super object that contains these guys. So document.get, and this will be a method element by ID, and note here the camel case. So we start off with small letter, then capital letter for element, get element, excuse me, I put element twice here. So get element by ID, so that's the correct declaration. So element here is E is capital letter, and the B is capital letter, the I is capital letter. And then here in parentheses, it takes in an argument, and the argument must be the name, the ID of that element. So the ID here is paragraph 1, so we put paragraph 1 as the argument there. There we go. So document.getElementById, by ID, and I'm just going to display this for now. Console.log. Just note that I put this inside a variable here for paragraph 1. So I'm just going to take this variable here now, and I'm going to just paste it here. So now we'll just display. Let's see what it displays here. See, there we go. It selected this paragraph, and it displays the paragraph tag. Now, let's just say I wanted to style it. Let's just say I wanted to change the font size here and make it much bigger. So one way to do this is to take this as kind of like an object and then access a property called style. And I'll show you how this works in a moment. So let me refresh, and you notice here that it says style, which is basically in itself an object with the different styles. So for accent color, see all of these properties here. Many of them are empty here. Of course, they're just empty strings. You can add animation delay. Let's look at the more familiar, the easier and more basic ones. For example, let's say I wanted to add a background color. So for example, here I have to access this property, right? The key is background color. The value is nothing. So I'm just going to copy this right here, and I'm just going to say paragraph 1 dot style is an object dot. I want to access this property, background color, and I wanted to make it green, for example. And actually, let me do this outside of the console, and let me remove the console here. I won't need to display this thing here, right? And let's refresh. There we go. Now it's green. Do you see that? In fact, I might actually need the console to access other properties. So we said background color is green. What other properties exist? Let's just remove the assignment here, and let's go refresh. So background color is green. So I've accessed the property here, and it's green. I can certainly make it yellow here if I wanted to, right? So that's how you do it. Okay, what if I wanted to change the font size, and then I'll change the font family? So I'm going to go to style, the style object again. Let's expand this a little bit. And what do I want to change the font size? So I just go up to the F, and I go font size. There we go. We have a property here, and it takes in a string. So I could just say here, font.style font size. I'm going to copy this, by the way, outside, and I'm going to reassign it here. Let me just say I wanted to make it 40 pixels. There we go. Let me just remove this just to show the whole paragraph. Okay, and there you go. So now you see that it's noticeably larger. So we just increased the size here, and we can certainly change the font style, the font family. So I could just go here, paragraph.style. See if I can find the font family property. You can find all of this in the documentation, by the way. But as you can see in the Chrome browser, you don't really need the documentation. You could just specify the object, and the object will show you all the properties that you will need. So if I come here again, and now I wanted to change the font family, I just go F, and then I have to find another F. So there we go, font family here. Notice that it's in camel case, so lowercase f first and then uppercase F. Consequently, I will just come here and I will just go here. Let's just change this to Forte, for example, Forte. And don't forget it should be font family, not font size. Font family, Forte, and close the statement with a semicolon. And there we go. Now it's Forte. So that's how you would select. So let's recap. Here you go, get element by ID. use this method. It's all camel case. Remember, specify the paragraph's ID here, paragraph 1. And then you may go ahead and manipulate it in various ways. You can access the styling, so forth and so on. And it's primarily used for styling, right? You could also use such things in HTML, in a text, and so forth and so on. But for now, we're going to be dealing with just the styling. And then in the next lecture, I will talk about how we can access the class names here and the tag names, right? So thank you very much.